Hi, I'm Jenna and I make bath and body products from my dedicated studio here in Hertfordshire, UK. I've been running small businesses for over 20 years and I share my day-to-day product making, running my business, and I also help others launch their own unique products too. If that's your thing, stick around, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you catch my latest episodes. If you want all my formulations, exclusive content and to chat with me, head on over to Patreon, link in the description below. On my website Reviga you'll find my own range of cosmetic bath and body products along with digital products and workshops to help you with your own business. I also offer some services too. And with that, let's get on with today's video. Good morning, it's another morning and I just woke up to the nicest comments on some videos on Patreon and on here, so thank you, you've made my day, because normally it's just ingredients. Where are the ingredients? Okay, camera died. It's obviously just as sick of those comments as I am, so there you go. I was going to do an unboxing for you, but then I forgot to unbox it on camera, so I'm just going to show you what I've got. I finally got a new printer. Yes, I went for a Munbin. I was really trying to avoid it because originally I had this one, and that is a Citizen printer, and they are so good and it's lasted me like 15 years. But these price comparison, there is no price comparison. Like, it was a no-brainer. I couldn't justify spending out on another Citizen, not at the moment, not at this point in my business. And Munbin, to be fair, they do a really good job, so I'm happy with that for shipping labels. And then I got the little stand thing from Amazon, and then I can put like other labels on a reel, and then I've got like, I can either do real shipping labels or have them underneath and then they just feed through the back like that. But I'm quite happy. This was the 130B, no affiliation with Munbin. I'm still making my mind up about it, but so far quite like it, and it should help make shipping a little bit easier, because I really couldn't be without my thermal printer and I was sad when the Citizen finally gave in. So whilst I got quite a lot of digital orders yesterday, I actually got a physical order as well, which is unusual at the moment because I only have a few soaps on clearance at the moment to sell. I'll obviously be releasing my products later this month, but for now, lovely person, I can't shout you out because you didn't leave me your name, you only gave initials, but I'm very grateful for your order, thank you very much. They ordered one of the orange chocolate Halloween pumpkin gravestone soaps, which is one of my personal favourites, and then we also have the Isai coffee cake, which actually has coffee grounds in it as well, and just, it smells divine. I love this one. In fact, they've ordered my 3 favourite bars, I think. So we'll package these up nice and securely. And then also the lemon meringue, which smells just like a lemon meringue pie, but then also has this lovely exfoliating bottom part, because there's sort of jojoba seeds in there, so it's a little bit scrubby that side, and then the rest of it's nice and smooth. So we'll put these in here, and I look forward to hopefully packing some more orders when I release my other products. But for now, let's get this sent off to this lovely customer safe and sound, with this little envelope as well. And let's just put a bit more padding. It's always good to sort of pack things out so that they can't move around too much, especially soaps with sort of embellishments on the top as well, because you don't want them to break. And then fold this over, and what I'll do is grab a little sticker to seal that, and then we'll get this all sent off. Thank you very much for your order. So I'm working really hard today to get these finished, and we have the citrus honey scrub, the coconut vanilla scrub and the vanilla sugar scrub are all done, and they are ready to be jarred up. I jarred up the remaining Sunset Shores and Black Raspberry Vanilla, and then over here I have the other ones that I labelled the other day. That's my little label unit and packing station. I've got my lip balms up the top and some empty containers that I need to fill. I will be making more soaps shortly. I'm just deciding on fragrances, probably some essential oil type fragrances, because I know some people prefer essential oils and sort of more floral and woody and that kind of thing. I do have some bath bombs. We're actually keeping those for ourselves because they didn't turn out quite how I want, so I'm going to remake all the bath bombs. But yeah, it's gone quite well today. I haven't filmed the making because the making of these scrubs is quite elaborate now, and also I do want to keep that a little bit of a secret because it's been 2 years working on this, and the method is extremely important to how it turns out, so giving that away kind of gives away everything. So you've got to keep some secrets in business, haven't you? But yeah, it's coming together, and I hope in the next 2-3 weeks maybe I should be launching stuff. It's actually the next day now, and yesterday I got all of my scrubs done and they have come out amazing. I left them overnight because I like to let them just make sure that they're all perfectly mixed, and then I'm going to jar them up right now. Right, I very much appreciate that the lighting in here needs to be sorted out, and I am working on it. But can I just show you how absolutely gorgeous this scrub texture is? And this is what I've been working so hard on over the past couple of years, because this texture is everything, and to keep it this texture and ensure it doesn't go weird is just, yeah. So even if it firms up in the jar, as soon as you sort of move it about, it will soften up like this, but it also won't like drop everywhere around your shower. It's just the creamiest, softest thing, and I'm so proud of it, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So I'm going to get this jarred up, and yeah, I'll show you the finished selection of products. So here are the scrubs that I've got to now put into jars. I really need a new mic setup. I need to get one of those wireless ones. So hit the like button and leave a comment, because it all helps go towards stuff like that. I'm going to do a time lapse of doing this, and we're going to start with the coconut one. I've been in a bit of a rush to get all this done in time for Q4, and I've kind of missed the start of it, but the reason for that is because I've been doing a lot of admin for other people. I do offer that as a service. If you can't get your head around the regulations, or you just want a bit of help with it, then I do the PIF file, label information, calculate your allergens, do your GMP statement, upload to the portal, all of that. You can get them as individual services or as a package. That's available whilst I have time to do it. Sometimes I'll take it offline if I've got too many or the wait's going to be too long. At the moment there are some available, so if you want that, I'd advise ordering early, because I may shut that nearer to Christmas as orders come in and sales in other areas get a bit busier. So how I do this is, first I will weigh one of the empty jars on my scale and just note down that weight so I know the weight of the empty jar. Then I'm going to fill all these just in a time lapse for you. I know kind of the level to fill them at to give them the right weight, but after that I'll put them on my trade approved scales, tear the scale, and then just top up if I need to, bearing in mind the weight of the jar, because the weight you want to put on the product is the weight of the actual product, not including the container. If you're selling in the UK, you do need trade approved scales, because you need to make sure that the customer is getting the weight of the product that they paid for. Let's get on with filling. And again, now we've finished, this will be used to top off and also make some samples. Now, I'm not making large batches. As you can see, I'm only making about 5 of each. I think I've got double the amount of black raspberry vanilla though, because that scent does tend to be popular. So I'll see how these go, and then we'll make some more if they sell well, because that's the key. When you first launch, you don't want to make loads of stock that might not sell, because it's just money then that you've wasted, and you have to remember that these products do have a shelf life. So be conservative when you first launch and then go from there. So now we're going to do the vanilla sugar. And again, same with the other batches, I'm now going to just top up on a scale if I need to, and then use the rest for samples. So here they all are, of course unlabelled at the moment, and I haven't quite screwed the lids on yet, because sometimes when you get these jars, the lid has a tolerance of like 1 millimetre or 0.5 millimetre, which means that when you first get them, it won't fit or it really squeaks. So you kind of have to let the jar settle with stuff in it. And then I do find, like, if you just put a little bit of oil, like use something that's already in the product, so it's on your ingredients list, and literally the tiniest amount just on a glove, and just put it round the edge, and then it will just help get that lid on properly. And then after that you won't have any problems at all, even if you dry it off. So that's how I deal with that issue. And then we'll need to label them like these guys, which we'll do in a day or so when I'm happy that they've settled and they're not going to leak, because sometimes temperature differences can mean that the jars leak a little bit because they're sort of expanding and contracting in the heat, and then depending on how much you've filled them, they can sort of leak a little bit. So I make sure all that's tidy up so that they're not going to do that, and then the final products are nice and clean and labelled and ready to ship. And then I do have these in here. We have shrink bands, and so I don't like using plastic that much, so I do get biodegradable if I can, but what you do is it opens up to a circle, and then you put it round, and then you shrink it with a heat gun, and what that'll do is just seal in the edge, so that if it does want to leak in transit, it won't go over anything else that you're shipping as well. Because that's a pain if that happens. And that is the 6 finished body scrubs. We have black raspberry vanilla, vanilla sugar, coconut and vanilla, lilac, honey citrus, which is like a sort of similar fragrance to a well-known honey citrusy kind of scent, and that's all I'm going to say. And then Sunset Shores is very similar to some kind of Brazilian cream that everyone goes nuts about, so that scent is very similar to that. Lilac is a very sweet floral scent, but it's just beautiful. Coconut vanilla will remind you of your childhood and going into any cosmetic store in the 80s or 90s if you're as old as I am, and it's sweet coconut scented. There's also jojoba seeds in there, so you've got a bit of extra exfoliation from that. And then vanilla sugar, I believe it's a dupe, but I don't know what of, but it's just a really sort of lovely subtle vanilla smell that smells upmarket, like not too sweet. It's got sort of a perfuminess to it, and it's grounded with some more woody scents as well, so that's really beautiful. And black raspberry vanilla we're all familiar with, that's one of the very popular ones, and you'll see the texture of the ones I just made compared to the ones that have been made before, and it will set up a little bit now it's cooling down and it's not being moved, but as soon as you put your fingers in it, it does soften up really lovely and it spreads really lovely, and I'm so proud of these and I cannot wait for you all to get your hands on them. So yeah, I hope you like. I've just been working on some labels for the samples because I found a really nice way to package them. So there's the little sample labels with the ingredients and the little scent profile, basically everything that's on my normal label, but then I've also added the book symbol just to make it clear that if you can't read the label because it's too small, then you can go to the website to read it. And then I found these cool rectangular gold labels which can go on the back of these little Mylar bags that I've got. Now I had a load of these in stock already, so I'm not going to waste them. I'm going to use them. When they're used up, I will find another option that's perhaps a little bit more eco-friendly, but either way, if you have stuff and it's not that eco-friendly, do use it up because it's pointless, it's sitting around, and in my opinion that's worse. So we're going to use these because they do keep the product nice and fresh, and they fit those labels. So these will hold about 10 grams, so there'll be little 10-gram scrub samples, which will be nice because I know a lot of people like to smell scents, so when they buy something else I can maybe pop one of these in if there's any available. Yeah. So excuse the crude filming, but what I'm doing is I'm on Avery and I've put my label image in there after selecting the correct labels that I got from them, and then I'm just going to go to preview and print, and then it sets them all up on that label paper, and then I'm not going to save it. Open PDF. You just got to make sure that you've selected the correct label paper that you've got from them, the correct size, before you do this. Then we'll go to print. I'm on a Mac, by the way, if that makes any difference. Go down here, check all your settings. If you can put label paper because the print quality will be better. And then we'll just hover over print for now because we need to line up our paper in a special way. So this is my Brother printer. And instead of using the tray of paper underneath, we open the front bit because it doesn't like thick paper very much. So we need to make sure that it can actually feed through okay. So you use those guides there, line it up so you can feel it can't go any further, and then we'll click print here and then just make sure you got a bit of like pressure on there slightly, so it definitely takes this instead of the paper in the tray, goes right through the printer and comes out the other end like that. And you just need to make sure that when you put any kind of label paper in this kind of printer, don't put it in the bottom tray, put it in this bit here, and then it goes straight all the way through to the back. Make sure this is open because if it has to curl round, it will get stuck and it will completely clog up your printer. So that's how we print our labels. So there we go. All 6 different scrub types, labels for the little samples, which I'm going to do in a minute. And weirdly enough, I had exactly 6 sheets of these left. So how lucky was that? So now I'm going to label some of the little pouches ready for filling. Then gloves on again, I'm just going to fill one of these up and seal it so you can see how I do that. So this is our remaining vanilla sugar scrub, and we'll open the pouch like so. So you can see that's open at the top. And we just want to carefully drop in some product. It's very hard doing on camera. I did this quite neatly earlier. quickly weigh it. Yep, that's plenty, including the packaging. Right, so you can see that you've got your product inside. These are little 10-gram samples, so you've got at least 10 grams in there. Cover this back over because I'll be coming back to that later. And then we'll take our product over to the heat sealer. This is the heat sealing section. I just want to make sure that it's all clean around the edge, so we haven't got any product that's going to get on the heat sealing tool. This should have heated up by now. And just close it together as much as possible. Pop it in your heat sealer and clamp down for, I don't know, 10-15 seconds usually does it once it's heated enough. And this isn't touching the product. The product has been sort of squished down. This is like the empty part. And there you go. It seals the top with a nice heat seal, so it's completely leak proof. And the customer has about 10 grams of sample scrub. And I'll show you how to open these and use them in a second. Right, so you'll see on this, it's got little tabs either side, so you can just pull it straight across and then squeeze out the contents. That's about a third of what's there, and then you can test it. And that's a nice little treat for customers. If they want to sample another scent, I can put in a different one for them, and so on. And then that just rinses, turns into a cream and rinses off. And that is where I'm going to leave you for today. After doing all of these and getting all of the scrubs done, I'm going to get these labelled and they will be ready for sale in the coming weeks. Next vlog I'll probably be doing some bath bombs, hopefully, because I've got to get all of those done. If you want to make your own body scrubs, I have loads of formulas both here on YouTube and on Patreon, which is linked below, where I give you the PDF formula and method for everything. Not my own formulas, but some other ones that I'm very proud of. Basically, if you want to make a scrub, you need sugar and you need oils and butters. If you want it to go creamy when it rinses off, you need to add an emulsifier, and then you can add extra things to make it nice. If you want it to foam, you could add a surfactant like SLSA, for example, and just play around and see what you like and experiment until you get the texture that you can fall in love with, as much as I have with these. And if you want to watch one of my favourite scrub videos, you could watch this one next, and I'll see you next week.